I want to talk about a transition. A transition from last week's Perashat Kitisa, and this week's Perashat Vayakhel. I believe that this transition actually has a potent message for us today. Let's start with last week's Perashat, and then we'll transition to this week's Perashat, and you will see what that message is. We read that when Moshe Rabbeinu comes down from Har Sinai, he is not aware of a certain transformation that took place in his own self. He's not aware of this transformation. He's coming down from the mountain. The people are looking at him. His brother, Aharon, is looking at him. The Nesi'im, the elders, the political leaders of Israel, are looking at Moshe Rabbeinu. And when they see him, they literally run away. The Pasuk says in Perashat Kitisa, Perek Lamed Dalet, Pasuk Kaftet, it says, Vayhi bereret Moshe mehar Sinai, ushne luchot ha'edut beyad Moshe beridto min hahar, u'Moshe lo yada' ki karan or panav bedabero ito. Moshe Rabbeinu, he comes down the mountain and he's carrying in his hands the Luchot HaBerit. And he was unaware that his face, it says ki karan or panav, that there was a shining on the skin of his face. This shining on the skin of Moshe Rabbeinu's face happened while Hashem was speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu. So I want to talk about this shining. If you look at Ankelos, it says, what is this shining? It says ki karan or. Or means skin. So it says that there was a radiance from the skin of Moshe Rabbeinu. But Ankelos has a certain subtlety. He says as follows. He says, "U'Moshe la yeda are seri ziv yekara de apohi." Moshe was unaware that the radiance on his face became abundant. Interesting. He interprets the word or, skin, as a certain radiance. It's like there's a radiance on his face, and the radiance was always there, but it just became more abundant. That's interesting. So there's a radiance on the skin of the face, and Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking with God, and because he was speaking with God, this radiance shone outwardly, and it was such a powerful light that people who saw it, at first they ran away, and Moshe calls them back. What is this radiance? What is this light? And why is this light scary? Usually light is not scary, but in this case, we know that even Aharon runs away, because it says, Vayikra alehem Moshe, Moshe calls them back, they ran away. Vayashuvu elav, and they returned to him. And I believe the answer is in Bereshit Rabbah. Bereshit Rabbah, Perek Yod Aleph, Perashat Bet. It brings the following statement. Amar Bi Yehuda bar Simon, Or shebarah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Beyom Rishon, Adam Sofer Umabit Po, Misof Ha'olam Ve'at Sofo. Pereshit Rabbah. It says, and we all know, that on the first day, Hashem created the light. Vayomer Elohim yehi or. Hashem created the light. The light that Hashem created on the first day was a very special light. We know it was special because the sun wasn't created yet. The sun was created on the fourth day. So the Chachamim say this special light that was created on the first day, Adam Arishon, would use this light, and through this light he was able to see from one side of the universe to the other side of the universe. What happened to this light? The Perashat Rabbah continues and it says, Kevan shehistakel HaKadosh Baruch Hu be'anshe dor hamabul. Hashem saw that there's going to be the generation of the people in the days of Noah, that they were Reshaim. U'b'anshe dor ha'palaga. And he saw the people in the days of Migdal Bavel. He saw that they were Reshaim. Shema'asehen mekulkalin. Hashem saw that these people, their actions were rotten. Amad Wugnazaha. Hashem took the light and he hid it. How did he hide it? We'll see. What happened to this light? It's there. It's there for Sadiqim. Sadiqim can take this light. Sadiqim can have access to the light. If you're a Sadiq today, you can get that light. And finally, this is the end of the Perashat Rabbah. The Perashat Rabbah says, how do we know that this light was hidden? It brings a very interesting pasuk from Iyov, Perek Lamed Het, pasuk Tevav. The pasuk says, "Ve'yimana mirshaim oram." Hashem monea. Monea means prevents. He takes the reshaim and he prevents them from having access to their light. I just want you to hear that word. Did you hear the word? It doesn't say that Hashem prevents the reshaim from having access to the light. I'm reading the pasuk again. It says, "V'imana mirshaim oram." Their light. It's their light. What do you mean it's their light? It's not their light. It's the light. But that's the secret. Man, Adam Arishon, was created B'Selem Elohim. There is something in the structure of Adam's intelligence that is somehow related to God, to the Creator. Selem Elohim. The structure that enables man in his intelligence to understand his Creator. And when Hashem creates Adam, and in Adam is this special light, the first light that Hashem created, before there was a sun, before there was the celestial objects, stars, galaxies, there was a light. And this light is part of what makes Adam, what makes man special. And when Adam was first created, he had access to this light. But when Adam sinned, Hanambam says in the Moreh Nebuchim that Adam lost this light. He lost it. Hashem looked at the future. He saw there's going to be Dor Mabul. He saw there's no hope. He looked at Dor Palaga. He saw there's no hope. He says, I'm going to stop the light now. He stops it. He doesn't wait till Dor Mabul. He takes it away from Adam. And it's interesting. After Adam makes the sin in Gan Eden, what does the pasuk say? Well, let's see if you can figure it out. Here it says, "Umoshe lo yada ki karan or." Or means the skin of his face, right? What happens when Adam is kicked out of Gan Eden and he loses the light? The pasuk says, "Vayas lahem kotnot or vayalbishem." The same word. Hashem gives them a skin which is made out of or. So the covering is a ketonet. It's like a clothing. So the skin that we have today is a covering that Hashem put on us. That covering hides the light. Kotnot or. And now, when Adam and Eve, when Adam and Hava leave Gan Eden, they don't have access to the light. And you look at them, they look like a creature. They look like any other biological life form. The pasuk says, "Nimshal kabehemot nidmu." When Adam was kicked out of Gan Eden, he was reduced in a sense, in a way, and in a tragic way. He was reduced to the level of the other animals. Nimshal kabehemot nidmu. So the kotnot or is something new. This covering that Hashem put on us, it's something that hides the light, and it's something new that was put on us when we were kicked out of Gan Eden. And here's the point. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to Har Sinai. He goes up 3 times. On each one of these occasions, he is in Har Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights in the presence of the Almighty. And as a result of this incredible experience, Moshe Rabbeinu is transformed. And he doesn't have the kotnot or that Adam had when he left Gan Eden. Now he has karan or. His covering, the or, is now a shining. It's a radiance. Moshe transformed to what Adam was, to what Adam was in Gan Eden. Adam in Gan Eden was karan or, was light shining from his neshama. So the neshama shone forth, the soul shone forth like light. And Moses got rid of the regular or, the skin that now covered that light. Moses got rid of it, and his neshama shone and radiated, and it was a light that wasn't just a regular light that we see with our eyes. There was something special about this light because it's related to the light that God created on the first day. Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or. That's the light that Aharon sees. That's the light that the political leaders, the Zekenim, see. That's the light that Bnei Israel see. And I want to read you also Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon. Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon, one of the great Chachamim, really perhaps one of the greatest Chachamim in terms of his interpretations on the Tanakh. And I want to read to you what Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon says. It says that when Moshe Rabbeinu went down from Har Sinai, the radiance of his face burst out. The radiance of his face, like rays bursting from a light source. So the radiance burst out. So again, there's a soul and there's a light that comes from the soul. Most people and almost everybody has the kotnot or of Adam, but Moses has the karan or a covering that allows the light to come out. And here's the question. Why is this light so scary? And the answer is in Mishle. There's a pasuk in Mishle that says as follows. In Perek Kaf, pasuk Kaf Zayin, chapter 20, verse 27, it says, Ner, Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam Hofes Kol Hadre Batin. The soul of man is like a candle lit by God. Do you see where the light comes from? Every soul of every man and woman, we were created B'Selem Elohim. Right? That's Selem Elohim. They say image of God. I don't like the word image because image implies something physical. And of course, there's nothing physical, right, without God. So I like to say some sort of structure, some sort of spiritual, intellectual structure. Selem Elohim. That Selem Elohim, that's the candle. That's a candle lit by God. And what does a candle do? A candle lights. Now, after Adam left Gan Eden, we're hiding that light. Moses comes, the light shines forth, the light of the candle. And what does that candle do? It says, Hofes kol hadre baten. That light, it goes into you and it shows you your inner self. That's scary. The light that came from Moshe Rabbeinu was the candle of God. The light from the candle of God, in this case the neshama of Moshe. You experience that light and it shows you not just the physical world. That's easy. To see the physical world, you need physical light. It shows you what you are. And that's what was so scary about this light. And at the psychological level, we know that a person can never look directly at his own shadow. A person can never look directly at his Yeser Hara. It's impossible. But if you have this light, you see it. That's a very scary thing to look at. And when Aharon sees it, when Bnei Israel see it, when the Zekenim see it, the first reaction is, it's terrifying. They run away. But Moshe Rabbeinu calls them back. And when Moshe Rabbeinu teaches them Torah, the light is there. Because at the end, we don't want to run away from the truth. We want to face the truth. So Moshe Rabbeinu teaches them Torah, and the light is shining from Moshe Rabbeinu, and they're sitting in Ohel Moed, and they're studying Torah with Moshe Rabbeinu as the light is shining there, and they're studying Torah, and they're absorbing the words of the Torah, and as the words of the Torah are entering them, and the light is entering them, they see what they are, but they can change themselves. They use the Torah, they use the mitzvot to handle who they really are. That's why Hashem gave us the Torah mitzvot. Barati Yeser Hara, Barati Lo Torah Tavlin. I created the Yetzer Hara. It's scary to look at the Yetzer Hara. You can't look at your shadow. You can't look at your Yetzer Hara. But if you have the Torah is the spice that enables one to deal with the Yetzer Hara intelligently, constructively. We improve ourselves through the mitzvot, through the Torah. And I said I wanted to talk. So that's the light. That's the light. That's a special light. That's a spiritual, intellectual light. Okay. That's last week's Perashat. I said I wanted to talk about the transition, because the transition is important. And today, I feel that we are in a period of darkness. I feel that we're in a period of darkness that we haven't seen perhaps in generations. I say this because the date is a date where, because of the COVID-19 coronavirus, synagogues are closed down worldwide. Yeshivot are closed down worldwide. Bate Midrash, Torah classes, closed. People at home, by themselves. If I had to think of a pasuk, to describe what happened, I would say, V'choshech al penei tehom. We are in a time where darkness is covering the abyss. And there's a pasuk that says in Yeshaya, Ki nea choshech echase eres, that there will be a time where there will be darkness upon the land. I believe that we are in that time now. Just think of it every day. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of Jews saying, answering Amen to Kaddish, sanctifying the name of God in public, saying Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. And suddenly, poof, it all stops. That's darkness. So, here's a question. If we all have the light within us, if we're created, B'Selem Elohim, and Shlomo HaMelech said in the book of Mishleh, Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam, Chofes Kol Had Revaten, we have a soul. God lit that candle. There's a light inside there. But we have the Kotonot Or. We have that clothing covering the light. How can we access the light? I can't think of a more important time than today to answer this question. And the answer is in the transition from Perashat Kitisa to Perashat Vayakhel. Perashat Kitisa ends with Moshe Rabbeinu having that special light. He has a special masveh that he puts on when he teaches Torah to the Jewish people. They experience the light. When he's not teaching them Torah, he puts on the masveh. And then next week's Perashat starts, Vayakhel Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu gathers the people. Et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. Vayomer alehem. He wants to teach them an important law. He gathers them. And he says, and the Torah says, Ele hadevarim asher tzivah Adonai la'asot otam. Moshe Rabbeinu says, I want to teach you something. I want to teach you certain words. These words come from God. I want to teach you these words that come from God. And it says, Sheshet yamim te'aseh melacha. You work for 6 days. Rather, work will be done for 6 days. Te'aseh melacha. Work will be done in 6 days. Ubayom ha'shevi'i. But on the 7th day, work will not be done. Yihiyeh lachem kodesh. Shabbat, Shabbaton Ladonai. On the 7th day, it will be Shabbat. It will be a real Shabbat. And Moshe Rabbeinu teaches them the laws of Shabbat. What's the connection between the light that Moshe Rabbeinu discovered? He was able to pierce through the Kotnot Or. The Kotnot Or is the regular clothing, physical clothing that we wear that covers the light. Moshe Rabbeinu bursts through, and now his light shines. And this week's Perashat, which starts with the laws of Shabbat. And the answer is as follows, and it's so important. It's saying, for 6 days work will be done. That's the physical state of man. Man has the kotnot or. That's what we are. We are a physical creature. We have this physical existence that covers the light within us. But we want the light. We crave the light. That's at our essence. It's who we are. We are a candle lit by God. We are lit by the Creator. We Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tora. We have a pure soul, a pure spirit that Hashem put within us. And He says, you want to access the light? There's one day a week. There's one day a week where you have to get rid of the kotnot or. And how do you do that? You stop work on Shabbat. You don't turn on electricity. You don't go to your office. You don't light a fire. You don't bake. You don't cook. For one day, you don't engage in any of the physical activities that we generally engage in. You stop. You stop on Shabbat, Moshe Rabbeinu says. You'll find the light within you. You'll spark that light. You'll experience something special. But you need to stop working. You cannot do melacha. You cannot drive a car on Shabbat and experience the light. You cannot cook food on Shabbat, put food in the toaster and experience the light. You cannot grind coffee on Shabbat and experience the light. You have to stop from everything. And you know what? Your soul craves that light. And when you're Shomer Shabbat and you sit down on Shabbat and you're with the family and you do Kiddush and you study Torah afterwards, you have found that light. And by the way, what's the first thing we do? It's not the beginning of Shabbat for Sephardim. It's not the beginning. We light the candles. Nerot Shabbat. Why do we light these Nerot Shabbat? Because on Shabbat there's a special light. But that light that we see in the candle, that's a holy light. But you know why it's holy? Because it symbolizes the neshama within each one of us. So this Shabbat, you may be at home. You may not be in synagogue. That's choshech, that's darkness. That if you're Shomer Shabbat, if you sit down, you study Torah, you enjoy the light of the Torah, it'll spark the light of your neshama. And during those 24 hours, 25 hours of Shabbat, you will have enjoyed the light of Maaseh Bereshit, the first light, the light that Adam HaRishon had in Gan Eden, and the light that Moshe Rabbeinu found in Har Sinai. Shabbat Shalom lanu ulchol Am Yisrael. Amen. Ken Yirason.